What's up, y'all? It's your boy Who's 74. We back with another One Piece chapter review. Um, this is One Piece chapter review 1154. We're getting more deeper into the Loki backstory. And if you've been in the same world I've been in the last 2 days, it's been crazy hard, mad hard to avoid the spoilers. So I know about the Rock's teaser back reveal. You feel me? I know about finding out that he's the father of a certain someone that I knew the whole time. But I'm not gonna say it. I'm gonna wait to get to that reveal in a part of the chapter for those who are, might be watching this at any given time. That so I only get like 3 views on these motherfuckers, but hey, that's enough for me. I'm gonna keep doing it. But for anyone in my 3 viewers that probably ain't seen the spoilers yet, I ain't gonna reveal too much. So we're gonna get into the chapter. We start off this week with the Holy Inari Shrine pilgrimage number 38 on the grave of a hero born in West Blue and brought up in Ringo. I think that is Shishui. I mean not Shishui, but the dude who Ryuma. Yeah, that's Ryuma. Ryuma's grave site, I believe. So yeah, we got Yamato Ulti page 1. And it seems like two other people are there. Like I told y'all, Yamato getting her little crew together. I do think how it kind of suck how everybody interacting with, you feel me, all and showing respect to Zoro family. Meanwhile, we can't even get and we got the reveal of his family, but we can't get him finding out his family. Like I want to get a moment where Zoro finds out, damn, Ryuma was my kinfolks and I had the sword of my kinfolks. He need to go get that sword back. Shishui. He need to get Shishui back. So we going back to 63 years ago. Ja Rule, the oldest man, Ja Rule, the oldest man in the present day, lost his partner. Cascade Beard Ja Rule was struck down dead by the hands of a certain young girl. Her name was Charlotte Lin Lin, a mere human, yet she left a large part of a giant village in ruins. She would later go on to become an emperor, earning the epithet Big Mom. That same year, Elbaf faced a string of tragedies. It was a calamity after calamity. Sudden fires, windstorms, bitter cold, waves of disasters, waves that devastated the corpse. The abnormal weather also brought fishing to a halt. So this magnificent land had fallen to famine. Okay, so now that we got that dialogue, and while we getting that dialogue, they do show us a scene from I guess 63 years ago in Elbath Path when right after Big Mom had just slammed Elder Joe Rural on his fucking neck and broke his shit. Like she snapped that man on his shit, snapped his neck. So we get a little image of him on his neck with a kid, Big Mom, just sitting there. Then we get the infamous image that we actually see in the anime episode when she did slam him on his neck, have her just sitting there with the fire in the background, looking in the daze, tongue hanging out her mouth, drooling. So then we go to the throne room where it seems like Loki's mom is now arguing with one of the guards. She's saying, "Now do you see this is all the child's doing? This was a curse. This land is cursed because of you. You all failed to kill it immediately." And the guard says, "No, surely this is just coincidence." So we cut back to like as I was saying, I'm sorry, I had to flame up the blunt. We smoking a joint today, so I had to flame up the joint. But Loki's mom was yelling at the prison, I mean at the Royal Knight soldier, telling them it's their fault the Elbaf going through all these tragedies because they should have killed baby Loki when she told them to when he was born. I mean, guards like, come on now, surely it's just a coincidence. You feel me? She's in the bed, looks like she's sick. I could tell she's sick from how she looked. She looks up as we hear a crash, and it's baby Loki busting through the door, trying to get to his mama. He just a happy little baby, bro. You can see it on his face. He ain't nothing but a little happy baby. And then she screams, "Ah, he's staring at me." And the guard's like, "Prince Loki." She's screaming, "Take it away. Don't ever let that monster near me again." Then we see an image of a baby Loki now crying, reaching for his mom as the guards are pulling him away. And Loki as a baby, a newborn baby, is so big. Like he's so big that these guards are like literally the same size as him. These grown ass guards are the same size as the baby Loki in height, but width wise, he's like as wide as both of them next to each other. So Loki's crying. They're taking him away. The guard saying, "Prince Loki, you have to keep away from your mother's room." And then his mother screams, gouged out those monstrous eyes. If left unchecked, his curse will grow till it brings about this nation's collapse. Loki's mama is a bitch. Sorry, but she's a bitch. That baby don't want nothing but a hug, folks. And then it looks like, guess we see some more of the shit that's going down in Elbath. We see a crying baby with the mama holding him. Baby saying, "Wow, I'm hungry." And the mama's like, "I'm sorry, sweetie, that was the last bit of bread we had." But we got two giants arguing about going to steal supplies of food and shit from the human. And one of them saying, "We don't do that anymore. That's the law of the land." I guess this is the contradictions they going through with each other in regards to, the situation they in and how they could go get resources and food from other pirates and surrounding nations, but the new diplomatic way that Harold got them doing, that's like it's not the way of the land now. So now we got like different giant tribes and villages that's into it with each other during this crisis time. And it looks like they're attacking each other. We got one group of giants saying those bastards from Hunter Village are attacking. Somebody says, "What are they?" Another person says, "It seems they hit another village too. Quick, arm yourselves. Don't let them loot the village." So they struggling and looting each other villages for supplies and food. It says internal giant struggles weren't unheard of during desperate times, but these incidents only resulted in making the period more severe and bloody. The country was engulfed in chaos and misery. And we get one of the giants say, "I heard a rumor about one of the princelings in the castle. He's cursed, and the bitterness festered as spirits broke." We see a baby Hydrogen at the time as he's hearing that. Somebody says, "Hey, his mama is there." His mother says, "Hey, Hydrogen." Oh no, that's some guard who just broke into the his mother's room with Hydrogen and his mother. He says, "Hey, Hydrogen, your brother doomed this country with his curse. As his elder brother, you'll take responsibility as a sacrifice." Yeah, that's just dumb shit. So you gonna kill him because his big brother cursed, because his little brother cursed supposedly. But what would killing him do as far as a sacrifice to do anything? I'm confused. Like you just came to the conclusion, I'm gonna kill you because of this. It's a sacrifice. A sacrifice for what? What's the outcome you're expecting? Loki's curse to go away. So then Ida jumps up and says, "What are you talking about? Don't you know my son's a cutie who's gonna be the world's longest living man?" And then the guy grabbed her by her neck and says, "Can it, Ida? You're nothing but an outsider who seduced Harold. Go to hell." And she says, "Go to hell. I love this country." Hydrogen says, "Don't lay a finger on my mom." As the guard gets ready to swing, we see a giant fist come down and pop that nigga dead in his head. That's what his bitch ass get. And it's King Harold. Harold showed up and said, "I'm gonna flatten you." He says, "Word reached me about Loki's birth in a recent famine. I was building a rapport with various nations when the news came. Our allies acted without hesitation. They loaded tons of food and supplies to be shipped here. Many humans may be small in stature, but not will. Our allied nations came together to ensure that we got enough to truly fill and stature our giant bellies." So the humans helped out. Once Harold got word of what was going on, he asked for help from his human allies and the nations that he built good relationships with, and they sending food their way, fo. Harold says we will graciously accept their aid. He says we will graciously accept their aid and he says dig in and fill your hearts with gratitude. As we see an epic panel of like just a bunch of ships, human ships just approaching Elbaf's shore with nothing but giant sacks of food. And then he says, brothers. And then we get back to Harold. He's saying, brothers, you must not fight amongst each other. If these good folks are ever in a pinch, it'll be our job to return the favor with all our might. Remember, this tiny world is ours to share. And then it looks like we cut to some time later. It says Queen Estrid continued to publicly declare that the plagues suffered by Elbath were brought on by the accursed prince right up until the eve of Harold's return. She denounced her son with a bitter hatred until her final anguished breath. I'm glad that bitch died. Naturally, the people of Elbath believed that her passing was part of the curse. So that's clearly letting us know that her passing was not part of the curse. And we see now that a baby Loki now has his eyes covered up as Harold holds him to the sky and says, Loki, my son. And some time has passed because baby Loki got a head for the hair now. Still a baby, but he got a head for the hair. The guard says he was born with a condition that affects his eyes. Well, he could see, but Harold says, I understand. What a pity. So he never even seen his son eyes, bro. Harold says he can't even smile for me. I guess it makes sense. He did just lose his mother. That ain't what the fuck going on. Do you not know how she treated that boy? They keep it a secret. That's why the guards do not know. Harold do not know that his wife damned his son and never showed him any bit of love from the time he came out her coochie. Harold don't know none of that. We get some more narration dialogue that says only at a few months old Loki had given up on love. And then we see a dialogue bubble. It looks like Harold still talking to Loki. He says, "You sure have a lot of scrapes." No, those are dot dot dot, and we don't see what else he says. That's confusing. Let's switch so y'all can review with me. Hit blunt real quick. So we get some more dialogue bubbles as you guys see. Harold's diplomacy soon started to bear fruit, and Elbaf's winter finally came to a close. So we see it looks like Harold and the rest of the giants, like they just talking about other ways of inter-village trade communications. Let's see. While that's going on, we get some more dialogue bubbles saying that Elbaf was restored from its fractured nation state and continued to be prioritized while things became an afterthought. I read that wrong. So basically, to sum it up, what's going on is they talking about how Elbaf got over its ice age due to its diplomacy, Harold's diplomacy act that he been doing with all these other nations and the good relations they had. They've been helping Elbaf get through the storm. So Elbaf finally got through the storm, and they just been working on restoring, all the nation fractured at the time, bro. That's what it is. That's what it's saying. The nation is split. Like before he came back, And before his wife died, when the winter and all that first started, like he said, all these different giant villages was attacking each other and stealing each other's shit for survival. So he's saying repairing those fractured bonds is the most important thing. Cause you got people who lost loved ones and they hold grudges against these neighboring villages for that shit. We see that Estra's older brother was appointed as Loki's personal steward, but it seems like he ain't do nothing but hold a grudge against Loki and treated him the same way his mama did. Harold was a dumbass, bro. Your son needed you, fo. You could have at least took him to Ida or something, bro, and asked her, like, bro, is that what it means to be king, bro? Like to be that involved with everything else that you can't even notice the emotional state of your son to try to figure out why is he like this as a child. Like, come on now. Yeah, this chapter is really making me angry, bro. Like the way Loki getting treated, bro, is like that shit not right at all, bro. Mama was a dick, daddy is a dumbass that's so obsessed with diplomatic relations that you feel me, he can't even notice what's going on. He don't even care to notice. The guards keeping secrets from him about how the fucking baby was treated for the first goddamn it, what, 3 months of his life? So we see that Hydrogen has been taken to the realm of the dead, the underworld with his mother. He's asking her, isn't it dangerous here? She says the coastline keeps this area separated so the beasts won't come near. She says, you're so cute when you're worried. So it looks like she started the bar down here. We heard about that in the spoilers. She says, don't you have training with Elbow from West Village? You should head back. She's talking to Harujin, as you guys can see. He said, this is Eda's Tavern. You hear me? Either fish, she says, fishermen, castaways, even pirates. I'm ready for any and all customers. With any luck, I'll be a help to Harold. So now we cutting back to 56 years ago from 63 years ago, 56 years ago at Jarua's house. Him and Harold are having a conversation. Jarua says you were at the scene of the reverie incident, Harold. Harold says, yeah, my friend was one of the invited kings. He smuggled me in as one of his guards. I couldn't ask the questions I wanted to without blowing my cover. He says, if that murder hadn't happened, I might have been exposed. If you were caught, all this would be at least of your worries. Haven't you heard of the tale of the Galera? Of the Galera Warhammer Company? Harold says, they're a they're a gruff troop of pirate shipwrights that armed themselves with warhammers, right? I thought they were just a myth. And then Ja Rule says, no, they existed. They really did travel far and wide, sending letters back to Elbath. I received the final letter myself. It said they all been captured. Can you believe it? Over 100 warriors were taken prisoner, including ancient giants. That's fucking crazy. You think the world government was responsible? That's what Harold asked Ja Rule. Ja Rule said there is no doubt that they once faced a great enemy. Whoever they s- says, however, they sank deep into the ocean at a certain point in history. To be blunt, there's probably a deeper reason why your ideals haven't worked out, and it has nothing to do with you. Harold says, lingering animosity, huh? Ja says these are just rumors, but I also heard a story about a frozen army of giants somewhere. It seems our people are regarded as enemies of the larger world. Harold says clearly, but I've already resolved to face any hurdle. And we get back to some dialogue. It seems like Loki's bitch ass uncle bitching at him some more. Prince Loki, I know you cursed and killed my little sister. Prince Loki. So it's just we get a time skip of Loki just being mentally abused by this man, and Harold is just nowhere to be found. Baby Loki, he's telling the baby Loki, now let's see what kind of garbage will be served up today. And then we see, whoa, the horse of fortune died. They blamed him for that. Loki is a little bit old now, maybe like he about 5 years old. Oh, the Stewart body was found in the realm of the dead. Good. Fuck dude, bitch ass. So Loki's uncle, his body ended up being found in the realm of the dead. And it says you got the giants who found out about it saying, oh no, this is a disaster. King Harold's already left on his voyage. They're coming. Close the doors and get the children inside. So Harold, before we get to that part, Harold was actually having a meeting with all of Elbaf, explaining about his plans for, join hands with the outside countries, explaining that he want to get rid of the fear and the image that the outside world have of them and the giants. He want better relations, and he's just saying they going, this is something he'll fight for till the end. Everybody hyping him up. Oh, King Harold, King Harold. We see some of the guards talking to Hydrogen. They say, well, you look thrilled, Hydrogen. Is it because your illegitimate prince Loki is the true heir, right? So they're saying, well, you look thrilled, Hydrogen. And one of the other guards says, is it because your illegitimate Prince Loki's the true heir, right? One of them then tells Hydrogen, you're just the illegitimate throwaway. And Loki is sitting there smiling. It's like he just happy seeing somebody else get bashed on besides him for once. And then we cut over to, as I said, when the villagers were screaming about a disaster and how Harold had just left, so he couldn't do nothing about it. And what was that disaster? Loki entered Elbaf with a bunch of monsters from the underworld, and he like beat them up, guys. He says, "This is Elbaf, the world's strongest country. We don't need weaklings here." And then the narration says, Loki, driven by scorn, unleashed chaos into Elbaf. Loki going crazy on their ass. I do not blame him. He had to been strong since day one, literally day one on Earth. He had to been strong. So I don't blame him for adopting the philosophy he had. Nigga, this Elbaf. We don't need nobody weak. So as all that going on, we see that Loki is confronted by Hydrogen, who says, Dad went through hell to rebuild this village. You think you can? And then Loki says, You think you get to call my dad father, huh? And then he says, I don't get why everyone respects him. He's dumb for trying to play nice with those human insects. Hydrogen says, That's crap. Why we should all try to see from each other's perspective. Don't get cocky just because you're big. And then Loki literally bitch smacks Harujin with the Kanabo, saying, Being cocky is my right. I'm the prince. Don't you dare talk back to me, right? So then we see Harujin on the ground. We see some other giant kids. Looks like they're trying to get involved. Stay back, Gerd. Okay, so that's Gerd. That's why Gerd doesn't like Loki, because she see how he treated Harujin. Stay back, Gerd. Stay back, Gerd. He'll think you're his friends. Loki will hit you next. And she says, We are his friends, you dummy. And she socked whoever said that dumb shit. Loki sees everybody running to Hydrogen's aid, and he's really upset. He see Hydrogen getting love he never got. Loki says, You're so pathetic, I could puke, Hydrogen. He says, You're just a group of weaklings huddling together. It's 'cause of your mom's filthy blood. One of the giant guard says, Young master, that's going too far. He's still the son of the king. He's also a prince. And then Loki screams, Don't call him a prince. And he slapped the shit out of that guard with his counterbow as well. It says Loki spread pain and destruction, but nothing he did filled the hole in his heart. And then we get, looks like Loki tried to commit suicide. He jumped from the top of Elbath to the underworld, smashed into the ground, and he just laying there, nothing on his eyes, and he's crying like I can't even die. So as that's going on, we see a mountain get slashed in half in the background. Shuku. Somebody says, what's the deal with this land? Where's the welcome committee? We see some giant beasts screaming and growling, and Loki gets up, still crying. We see some silhouettes. It is the Rock's Pirates. We see Whitebeard and Shiki. Somebody says, "Oh, whoa, we found one. Look, it's a giant." And then somebody else says, "This is definitely Elbaf." We see Shiki says, "This brat's got one hell of a devil's face." But then Newgate says, I know he's a giant, but isn't he a bit big too?" Hey kid, why are you crying? And then we see Zebek. He says, "All right, kid, you better say yes to both these questions." He says, "I ain't the type to take no for an answer." First off, this is the land of giants, yeah? Second, well, we'll find Harold here, yes? So Rock showed up in Elbath. By this time, he already has Newgate, Shiki, and Stussy on his crew. Kaido and Big Mom have not came around yet. They are the youngest members on this crew. Big Mom not that old by now. Damn, I just squeezed my damn thing. Oh well. So Big Mom isn't that old by now. Kaido shouldn't be neither because he's younger than her. And Rock's are back. I'm just in awe. Let's read these dialogue bubbles real quick. It says Harold spotted this particular man 8 years ago during a referee. He single-handedly killed a Navy HQ admiral and vanished without a trace. Hold on. It says this feat earned him a massive bounty and the government's ear. So that was Rock's rise to fame. He single-handedly killed the admiral at the reverie and got away. I need a backstory about that, cause what was the beef about that him and the reverie guy got into it about? Him and the admiral got into it about what was going on. It's for him to be a reverie. Apparently, Rock is a king of an island, Hachinosu. So he was the king of Hachinosu before he became a pirate. And it says future captain of the Rock's pirate, father of Emperor Blackbeard. So that's the confirmation right there. If the face reveal wasn't enough, that Rox D. Zebek is definitely Blackbeard's father. And I do have to say, out of all these One Piece characters so far, Rox D. Zebek design is my favorite so far. He just looks menacing and cool at the same time. And yes, I see what everybody been talking about because he definitely looks like half like Buggy, fo. He looks like Buggy on one side. His left side looks like Buggy. His right side looks like Teach. He's slimmer than Blackbeard, but his build definitely looks weird. Like he got a different type of build, like torso build. Blackbeard, that's tongue twisted like a motherfucker. Blackbeard and Rock Zebek both got like these real muscular but like wide torsos. Well, anyway, shit's getting good. We get into some reveals. When you finally get the Rocks Zebek face reveal, and we find out that he Blackbeard daddy, I know for a fact next week finna get some good shit. Let's see, as we going on a break, cause it didn't say we was going on a break last time. Yet we went on a break. All right, so yeah, I'm curious. So I'm just waiting for the next chapter because I want to know more about Rock's backstory as far as what he killed the Admiral about, what was the reverie like that Harold and Rock was part of. Shit, give it to me from Harold's point of view. I don't give a fuck. I just want to see that reverie. You feel me? Also, I want to know what's Rock's reason for being in Elbath right now. Why is he looking for Harold? Maybe it has something to do with the type of questions that Harold was asking. Because he said something as far as I couldn't ask all the questions I wanted without getting exposed. So maybe the few questions he did ask caught Rock's attention. And Rock, like, I need to have a moment with this guy. Or he maybe overheard him and Shanks talking. Because Harold and Shanks had conversations at the reverie. But Shanks also said he couldn't speak about everything he wanted to speak about. Rocks probably heard a little bit of what they were saying. But other than that, I'm finna park it for the night. I ain't finna be on here too long. I gotta go back to work tonight. So I need to get me some sleep. Um, if I get some time tomorrow, we'll most definitely do a discussion video. Or I might just upload TikTok videos and then put them on YouTube Shorts as short form discussions, and you feel me? And we'll see how that work out. Who's Who 74 signing out. Yeah, I would like to.